So your pain has purpose. I know you're thinking, what's this woman about to say? Don't go anywhere. Let me explain it. So I had this client, right? And I like to share experiences because we all find ourselves in all these experiences, and I share my own experiences all the time. I had this client who found herself stuck in this constant overdrive. You are consistently the one that everybody comes to, and because you are the super woman, every time you are the one doing everything. They say, oh, can you please help me? Oh, yes, of course. Oh, can you please help me? Oh, yes, of course. At home. Oh, don't worry, I got this. You are carrying a bag. Somebody wants to help you. Say, oh, no, don't worry, I can carry it by myself. So you are, in fact, superwoman has got nothing on you. And that was the challenge that she had. She didn't know how to limit some of the things that she took on because she felt, oh, I'm still doing them. I'm succeeding at it. And so let me just keep going. Let me keep going until one day she couldn't go anymore. Thriving requires letting go of your survival mode. And a lot of times, we have this, it's called toxic fuel in us. We just keep going, because if we stop and just listen to the pain, we assume that, oh, we're going to open this can of worms that we can never close back. I mean, a lot of people have said that to me, that what if I open a can of worms that I cannot close back? What if I touch something that, will remind me of so many things? And so let me just close it and throw it in one dustbin somewhere in my heart. One day, maybe never, it will disappear. And I tell people, no, it won't. Because pain cannot be prayed away. Pain cannot be thrown into a dustbin and put anywhere. Pain, what it would do is it would get trapped in your organs and in your glands. And then one day you'll have high blood pressure. Then you'll have your heart stop. Then you'll have your liver stop. Then you will have your kidney stop. So that pain that you think that you have bottled and kept somewhere, it is imploding in other parts of your organs and your glands. And it's not going nowhere. And then you now start spending money on that. Right? So the cycle never ends. Yeah, it used to be me too. In fact, I coined the word functioning traumatist. But there's actually something called a highly effective or efficient depressed person. So you're not locked down and tied down at home, but to get up from bed sometimes you struggle. The pleasure for life or that lust for life doesn't exist anymore. All the things that you used to enjoy does not exist anymore. You don't enjoy them anymore. People are saying, let's go for a drink. You say, I beg. You're even having sex and you're wondering, when is this guy going to get off me, or when this woman going to leave me alone? That drive for life and pleasure doesn't exist anymore. There's actually a term for it called anhedonia. It creeps into your life slowly by slowly. But you tie yourself to this work, to this job, because that's the only place you think you can function in. So you're highly functional, but internally you are depleted. And that's what trauma, honestly, and the pain of trauma can keep doing to you if you don't look at it. So when I say that your pain has purpose, do you understand what I mean now? It's there to teach you something. It's there to tell you something. It's there to show you something. It's there to say, okay, all right, there's something that must have happened. I spoke to somebody and I said, okay, so how do you feel? She'd had a couple of ailments, and she was smiling. I mean, I don't know how you can have 3 to 4 miscarriages and somebody will ask you how you're doing and you say, I'm fine. You are not fine. And so I looked at her again. I said, are you sure? It's okay. So after all these experiences, tell me how you're doing. And she started crying immediately. Why? Because she carried all that pain in her. But she was carrying face as though all is well. People are looking at her. In fact, people are asking her for support and she's supporting them. But deep down, she's in pain. So what do you want to do? You've got to look at it, because whatever you do not name, you cannot heal. That pain will continuously be there. You can keep pretending that it's not there, but it's there. And it's there to teach you something. It's there to heal. But you've got to name it. You've got to face it to name it. Then you can deal with it, and then you can heal it. And so one of the things that I look at all the time is you've got to treat yourself with the kindness you'd offer a friend. Self-compassion is the greatest healer, my guys and my friends. Self-compassion, oof. You know, I tell people that the difference between guilt and shame is guilt is, oh, I made a mistake. Shame is, I am a mistake. And we're so shameful. Woo! We know how to carry that shame. And then we'll repeat it over and over to ourselves, then tell other people that this is who we are. And then we start to live like that, because the truth is, as a man thinketh, so is he, period. And you don't have to believe it, just know that it's a law. And the next law is, if you ask, you will receive. So if you ask that you are stupid, you will receive more permission to be more stupid. One day my daughter made a mistake. No, I think I did something to her. And I said, I'm sorry, baby. She said, Mommy, it's okay. Everybody makes mistakes, even you and I. That thing warmed my heart in such a way that I didn't even know it could. Because that's the truth. Everybody makes mistakes, even you and I. And as a stepmother, I felt like I made a lot of mistakes. As a stepmother, I would question everything that I did, especially to my stepkids. I'll be like, oh, did I do this enough? Did I do that enough? Did I smile enough? Did I pat them on the back enough? Should I have done? Constant chatter in my head. So I had no self-compassion for myself at all. And then I hoped other people will have that compassion for me, and of course they couldn't. So where do I run to? Self-compassion is the greatest healer. When you make a mistake, tell yourself, I made a mistake, and so what? I started asking myself, the father that gave birth to these children, does he not make mistakes? Is he perfect? If their mother was alive, would she have been perfect? If all the people around me, are they perfect? That was the question I started to ask myself. And the answer was no. So why do I want to be perfect when I don't even have the capacity to? So I started to tell myself, it's okay for me to make mistakes. Now that I've learned from the mistake, I can do better. So I do better. Shikena. And that's how I actively started to work through my self-loathing, let me call it that. And I started to give myself compassion and forgive myself and love myself and heal from it. So once again, self-compassion is the greatest healer. What can you do? Write down one thing you blame yourself for, like I did. Imagine a close friend in your situation. What advice or kindness would you offer them? Imagine that thing that you blame yourself for was someone else that is close to you, that has come to share that thing with you. What advice would you give them? Give yourself that advice. And then on top of it, write a letter, a self-compassion letter to yourself, and read it out to yourself weekly. I always do more. I do daily. But let's start with weekly. And just tell yourself, I forgive you for being so hard on yourself. I forgive you. My commitment to you is acceptance, allowance, right? Trusting, loving you all over again, learning how to do it, and my inner child, and giving them voice to speak, but being kind to myself. Those are the kind of words that you should use. Come up with your own words. I just threw a few that I put in mind for you. And lastly, I'm going to say this. Your purpose is your pathway to thriving. And I said this thing over and over and over again. I'm beginning to sound like a broken record, but I'm happy to sound like a broken record because repetition leads to mastery. So if you keep hearing me, then it will keep making sense to you until one day something will break in your mind and you say, okay, I got it now. Your purpose, your purpose. Sometimes you've lost everything, or you think you've lost everything, and sometimes you feel like you're alone. Sometimes you feel like, nobody understands you, nobody listens to you, nobody hears you, nobody sees you. Sometimes. But my question is, do you see yourself? Do you understand yourself? Do you have a clear guide as to what you want to do and who you want to be? Because I always start from a being. Who do I need to be to do what I need to do to have what I want to have? But it starts with a being. Who do I need to be? And I choose love. I choose self-compassion. I choose kindness to me. And, I want you to reflect on the things that honestly gives you a sense of meaning. What are those things that make you feel? And a lot of times contribution gives you a sense of meaning. Contribution, when you contribute to other people's lives. When yes, you might have only 1,000 naira, but somebody comes to you and begs you for 10 naira, and you take 10 naira out of that 1,000 naira and give that person, you will see how good you feel within yourself. Because even if you didn't have plenty, you could still give out of what you had. And you remember that woman that Jesus said she gave out of her lack. And so what did she get? Everything. And so what would you get from contributing into other people's lives? Even if you're going through something as well, you'll find out that you forget about yourself a lot more and you focus on other people and what they're going through and their own experiences. And it's almost like a ripple effect. You know, when you throw a pebble inside the water, the ripples, they come back to you. And that's what happens when you give love, when you are love, when you be love. So what are you going to do differently today? Once again, your trauma is not meant to define who you are, but the truth is that you can allow it to. And you can believe so much in a lie that it becomes your truth. And then you leave it until when? And then you blame other people until when? Do this today. Connect with yourself. Show yourself kindness and compassion and love, and understand that those painful incidents happen because it is meant to lead you closer to your purpose. I remember one day when I started this t-shirt brand, I'm wearing one of my t-shirts, and I called it Elelomo, which is a slang for I am a babe in Yoruba language in Nigeria. And someday one person asked me, so why did you call it Elelomo? I said, because at some point in my life, I didn't feel like I was a babe or I was beautiful. And the person looked at me and said, really? How did you connect with that? I said, because I asked myself deep questions. And it was from that pain that this purpose came to being. What about you? What is something that is going on in your life today that you can tap into and pull out your purpose from that pain? Because maybe there are other people who you can help just because you went through it and you came out of it successfully, right? And I say with flying colors. That's what I like to use, with flying colors, learning all the lessons that were available for me to learn so that I can move on to my next class. What would you do differently today? Would you sit in your pain and blame everybody for your pain? Or would you turn that pain to purpose? Truth, both decisions are yours. Choose wisely. Hi there, my name is Adiola Kingsley James. I really do hope that these videos that I'm creating for you is doing exactly what I want them to do, which is to move you needle by needle to finding your greatness. Because I found mine, and now I'm giving the opportunity to find yours. Like the videos, please, don't forget. Subscribe and share me with other people. And one last thing, click the notification bell below so that when my videos drop, you'll be the first person to get them. Love and light. My name is Adiola.